There are big differences between avoidantly attached men and emotionally detached men. In this video, we'll talk about those differences.
There's a lot of women out there, and even men sometimes, who consider themselves or consider the men in their lives to be avoidant because they're not keen on committing to the relationship. And the problem with that is that avoidant behavior doesn't always equate to avoidant attachment style. So we want to give you a clear distinction between the emotionally detached men and the actually avoidantly attached men. By the way, my name is Renee Wade.
I'm David.
And for the last 16 years, we've been coaching women in dating, relationships, and in healing their attachment pathology.
So the first point I want to make is that avoidant attachment, and when we talk about attachment styles, basically, here is the gist. Anything that is not secure, so anything that's insecure, we're talking about anxious, whether that's, that could be classified as fearful avoidant as well, if you follow the newer categories of attachment styles. So fearful avoidant, dismissive avoidant, or avoidant altogether, or disorganized. Some people use that particular framework. All these insecure attachment styles are pathological. Attachment style was originally a study of attachment pathology.
Psychopathology.
And this is a direct quote from Dr. Mario Mikulinsa, who is an Israeli.
Not Australia, but Israeli.
I said Australia. Who's an Israeli researcher into this whole. I mean, he spent most of his life doing this. So, attachment styles is a research into pathology, the attachment pathology. And so, when we look at all these pathological insecure attachment styles, none of them are desirable. None of them are ideal. So, keep that in mind as we talk about the differences here. Whereas if we talk generally about men's behavior and we talk about emotionally detached men, by the way, emotionally detached men, that's just a function of sometimes being a man.
Yep.
If I'm, let's say, fixing a car, changing the oil, if I'm fixing a door hinge, you're not going to be emotionally attached in that process because that's going to take away from your ability to focus, narrow in on that problem and being able to solve that problem. Sometimes solving a complex problem as a man, you're going to have to detach from everything else and just honing on that and be laser focused on that problem. So
it's normal to want to be empty, and that's a function of masculine energy. So if a man has a predominantly masculine identified self, he will err on the side of wanting emptiness, especially when he's needing to solve problems. That emptiness may feel to women like they are avoidant or just not quite there or not able to attach, but that's just not the case. They're just bringing out that side of themselves in order to be more efficient in this specific area of their life.
So when we talk about male behaviors and when men are emotionally detached from you as a woman, that doesn't mean that they have any pathology in any way. That's just their default state. That's just how men are in their masculine state. So whether they have a pathology, whether they have an insecure attachment style, that's for you to figure out. That's for you to explore and actually dig deeper and actually have a glimpse of, as opposed to just giving them a label that they're avoidant in any particular way.
Yeah.
So they're very different frameworks here. You know, all men are going to be emotionally detached to you until you earn that attachment. That's how it is. Why would they, attach it? They're not women. They're not here to, they don't need that attachment in order to feel safe. So for men, they want to reserve that energy. They want to keep that to themselves until the right woman shows up. And that's important for you as a woman to understand, because a lot of women go, that they think they project their own emotions and needs and wants upon others, especially men, and they think that men are just like women. Well, they're not, unfortunately. So men come by default as emotionally detached. You can earn that attachment through emotional attraction, emotional connection. We've been teaching that for 16 years.
We have written lots of free blog articles and free email newsletters on this topic of how to build emotional attraction and emotional connection. Just go to Renee's links. You'll find my popular articles, free classes and whatnot.
So any securely attached man will appear emotionally detached if they don't want to attach to you. And that's okay. That's normal. That's healthy, right? Men should be able to protect their own resources until the right person shows up.
And I guess it's a function of many women who are in that position with this man to indulge in the story of, oh, I'm dating an avoidant. Because I guess most women don't have a solution, don't have a real clue of what's going on, especially do not have a clue about what it's like to be in the male body. And that's what I don't want you, the women watching, to do, is to just indulge in a story about him being avoidant just to pass the time or just to keep that attachment to the wrong man, which he is the wrong man if he doesn't want to commit to you, for the sake of just holding on to him, for the sake of avoiding grief. That's what I don't want you to do. If you want more clarity on how emotionally committed a guy is, we have a free quiz on how commitment friendly is your man. Again, Renee's links is the place to go.
Links on the bottom. Yeah, and also to justify why they couldn't get a certain relationship to work out the way they want.
The women.
Yeah, the women, exactly. So you really have to use the right language here. Sometimes, relationships fail for so many different reasons. Yes, he could have all sorts of, let's say, bad habits, maybe even insecure attachments. In fact, here's a real statistic for you. Truly avoidant people are very rare in this society. I'd say 5 to 10% truly avoidant.
Yeah.
Very small percentage. And chances are you haven't met a truly avoidant person. Yeah. Chances are. There are a lot more individuals who are fearful avoidant.
Well, 10% is quite a lot, though.
1 in 10.
So, 1 in 10, chances are we probably have.
In relationship.
Yeah. Chances are you probably haven't been trying to be truly intimate with a truly avoidant person. You
probably would have been driven away from him for whatever intuitive reason.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a larger percentage of people in the fearful avoidant group who are more comprised of those who are acting out of anxiety and they don't want to feel too much anxiety in relationships, so they pull away.
Yep.
So that's more of a conscious decision. Whereas the true avoidants, they're actually just cold, stone cold, hard boiled, as John Bowlby would call it.
Yeah, a lot of people with their content online like to say that avoidance or fearful avoidance are not cold. Well, actually they are. Not sorry, but your experience, if you've really dealt with them, you would know.
True,
they're cold.
We
don't need to cover up. Let's be honest here. Let's have an honest, open conversation about human beings and attachment pathology. Let's not pretend.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick and tired of this nonsense out there. Okay, I'm sick and tired of it.
Yeah, it's profitable. It's way more profitable to tell people,
yeah,
we can change avoidance. You have to do this, 1, 2, 3. But no, true avoidance, they are set in their way and they are cold. You'll never have that sense of warmth in that relationship ever, because that's not their center of gravity. That's foreign to them. It's not even foreign. It doesn't exist in their world.
No. Fearful avoidance, yes, they can change, okay?
Very different.
Just want to be clear. And there's a large percentage of people in the fearful avoidant range, as David said.
Much larger, yes. But truly avoidant, very small percentage, because you really have to have extreme trauma to cause and create truly
extreme,
avoidant.
Lasting, repetitive trauma.
Yeah.
Before the age of 2.
Yeah, it has to be very severe. Okay. So when we talk about emotionally detached men, think that as the default. Okay. So how do we fix that? How do we bridge that gap? And as I mentioned before, emotional attraction, emotional connection. By the way, these two factors are usually skill-based, not based on your looks, your attractiveness, your social status, any of these other factors. These are something that you can control. And here's the thing. The better you get at those skills, the quicker and easier it is to actually create emotional connection, emotional attraction with people in general.
Yeah.
In general, this is a skill here.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people don't have those particular social skills.
Yes.
And they don't maybe perhaps value their relationship to that extent where they have those skills. And sometimes relationships break down.
Yep.
And sometimes people pull away from you because they don't see or perceive as much value in that relationship. But that doesn't make them suddenly just avoidantly attached. No, let's not use attachment styles here. Let's just say, they become avoidant, yes, in their behavior. Doesn't mean that they're avoidantly attached, right? And to overcome that, you just have to work on the two things that drive the relationship forward. Emotional attraction, emotional connection. It all comes down to that. Everything else in a relationship is smoke and mirrors. There's nothing there, okay? It's all an illusion. The only two things that really make or break a relationship: emotional attraction, emotional connection. And we have so many free articles, programs, quizzes on those topics because we've been teaching women for the last 16 years, almost coming to maybe 6. What year is this?
This is the 16th.
16th year.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So we've been teaching women for so long.
2009 we started, guys.
When it comes to emotional attraction, emotional connection, because that is where the value is in a relationship. So when we talk about pathological attachment styles, whether that's anxious, fearful, avoidant, which is basically anxious, disorganized, which is basically the same thing once again, or truly avoidant, all these different insecure attachment styles obviously will impact the quality of your relationship. And, I think as a general estimate, perhaps around 50 to 60% of people have some level of insecure attachment styles. Would you agree with that?
Well, apparently it's minimum 50% of people have secure attachment. So most people have secure attachment because most parents do enough to make their child secure, right?
Relatively secure.
Relatively
Well,
secure.
this is also why we have our attachment style
The
quiz
spectrum,
as a
right.
spectrum, right?
Yeah.
It's a score out of 100 rather than just putting you in certain categories, because then you can look at the score and then you can maybe do the quiz later on, a year from now, 2 years from now, and you can look at the score increase as you heal from your insecure attachment. Because at the end of the day, it is a spectrum, okay?
Yeah.
And sometimes life events, stressful, traumatic life events, can move you in one direction or another. So it's important to understand where your attachment style lies and what that means for you, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But a large percentage of people do have attachment trauma and insecure attachment styles. At the end of the day, the way you figure out whether someone has an avoidant attachment style is to basically look at his other attachments. Because truly avoidant people don't tend to have attachments at all, like strong emotional attachments to anything, to family members, to perhaps places or things or religion even. They don't have those attachments. They're so removed from the world around them. And if you can disqualify that person to having avoidant attachment style, that's great, because at the end of the day, there is no future when you are with someone who's truly avoidant.
There was a lady who left a comment on one of our other YouTube videos saying, oh, funnily enough, he's very attached to his family.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously she thought she was dating an avoidant. Well, if he's attached to his family, let's assume that her observation is correct, that what she's seeing is attachment behavior, then he's not avoidant. He's just avoiding you.
Yeah, and that is so common, because we are looking for value in each other in some way or form, and if you present in a way that looks value extracting, or if you've been extracting value repeatedly, then that's going to drive people to avoid you.
Yeah, and if you lack attunement, like I think a lot of men and women, let's not pinpoint any one specific type of human here. It doesn't matter man or woman. A lot of us lose attunement, or we don't even try to attune to the other person. And you know when you have a conversation with someone and they're just, it's like, what's the term, like narcissistic conversationalist or selfish conversationalist or something?
They just
It's
talk
like
about
there's
themselves.
some very smart psychological term for it. And they're just not even noticing that this is supposed to be a two-way thing. You know, that like those... There's a lot of those out there. A lot of these men and women who just aren't attuned to their date or their potential date. And that's not okay. You have to attune to the other person to have an actual relationship. A lot of people lack that attunement, and just by virtue of lacking that attunement, you extract value. And afterwards you're like, oh, this person, why'd they leave? So why'd they ghost me?
Yeah.
Not that ghosting is 100% always your fault. No. But why? Well, maybe because you should have noticed where they were at before. You know?
Yeah. And value is the game that we all play here.
Yeah.
So, would people more or less likely to, let's say, ghost a Brad Pitt, for example? Different comparison here, right? So, it's important for you to understand where value is, and whether you're extracting value or adding value.
Yeah.
And as we always say, the more you present, the more you initiate with value-adding mindset, the more value is going to come back to you multiplied. And also, if people are going to take that value and run with it, then you're going to notice it first. You're going to be the first person to sense that, feel that in your gut, and you can do something about it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're looking to take value, you're going to be blinded by the value that's dangling in front of you. Look at his relationships. Look at who he is. And then look at it from a value perspective. And remember, men and women perceive value so differently. So differently. Men don't perceive attachment the same way you do. Men don't perceive value in commitment the same way you do. Okay? So...
But by default.
By default,
we're talking
yes.
in the default.
Doesn't mean men don't want to commit to you.
No.
When they get attached, that is through the process of building and creating emotional attraction, emotional connection. And that is the real skill here. That is the real value here. Okay? So focus on that. If you want to learn any more about this whole topic, go to Renee's links. All the links are at the bottom. Go to Renee's links, do some of the quizzes, read some of the articles. We even have paid programs on this specific topic because it's so important.
I think at the end of the day, every woman wants that sense of emotional commitment. Sometimes in wanting that, we extract too much value. We jump too far ahead. Kind of like how men try to get women into bed too quickly. But I acknowledge that it's important to women. We want nothing less for you. We want you to have that sense of infinity that comes with a mutually emotionally committed relationship. So if that's something that inspires you, that's something that you look for, definitely Renee's Links is the place to go.
And we can help you every step along the way because we have done this for so many years. Any questions? Leave in the comments below. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.